Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to DC Live, the voice that reminds you that we care, we share, and we are on air. This is Grammatist, the show that sharpens your language skills for the corporate world and beyond. I am your host, Monishree. It's Monday at 5:30 p.m., the perfect time for us to lighten up our professional English vocabulary. Today, we are going to launch into the letter L, a true leader carrying learning, leadership, logic, longevity, and leverage. So, from the shortest essentials to sophisticated corporate terminologies, these L words that we're going to learn today will help you sound more logical, lucid, leadership oriented, and also long term focused in your meetings, emails, reports, and presentations. So, let's off with a few short L words, the one that we usually use in most of our sentences. The first word we have for today is lab, which is a place for experiments or a corporate innovation space. For example, we can say our analytics lab uncovers hidden customer patterns. The next word is lag, spelled Lag, which means to fall behind in progress or to be slow in progress. Uh, for example, any email response lag frustrates our external clients very much. Our next word for today is lay, which means to place something or position something very carefully. So when we say, for example, let's lay out our targets for the project on the chart, or let's lay out our milestones for this project on the chart, it means you're positioning it or we're placing it carefully. Our next word for today is law, which means either a rule or regulation that everyone has to follow. So, for example, the GDPR law governs all of our data handling, or the ISMS law ensures that we have internet safety and data security. The next word we have for today is lead, spelled LED, which is simply the past tense of lead, leading something. So when we're talking about someone leading any initiative and it was in the past tense, we'll say, for example, she led the project for the past 3 months, or she led negotiations that has saved us a lot in our expenses. The next word we have is lid, spelled LID, which means either a cover that we can close, or metaphorically, it means to contain something, to keep something close. So, for example, if we say let's keep a lid on sensitive information, it means we're trying to keep it close. We're trying to make sure it doesn't get leaked to anyone. All right, those are a few very short words that create rhythm and structure in our sentences. Now let's level up for a little bit bigger L words, a few 4 and 5 letter words that are our daily drivers of corporate communication. We'll start off with the word lead. We already spoke about the past tense of this word, which is led. Lead simply means to guide a team or to guide a process to become successful. For example, we can say, who would like to lead the Q2 planning session, or who would like to lead the training session for the new journals. Next is like, which means something similar, or also a preference, our preference, whatever we like. So, for example, when I say uh, handling escalations like a priority is one of the major responsibilities for us. So, when I say like, it would say it is similar or it is a preference. The next 4 letter word we have for today is list, which means an ordered collection of items or tasks. For example, you can say prioritize your to-do list by impact first. So when you're ordering it by impact first, that is called list. The next word is live, spelled Live. The meaning of live is real time, something that is happening in real time, or when you're having anything in person, either a face-to-face conversation or an in-person discussion is called a live interaction. So for example, when you say the demo goes live, so this is when it is going out for the real-time interactions. All right. The next 4 letter word we have for today is loan, which means borrowed money with repayment. So when you're borrowing money with a promise for repayment, that is called a loan. For example, bridge loan covers us until series funding. The next four-letter word we have for today is loose, spelled L-O-S-E, which means to no longer possess something or to no longer own something. For example, we cannot lose this project right now. It is very important for us. Okay. The next four-letter word we have for today is loud, which means high volume, a very loud volume, a high volume, or metaphorically, it also means prominent, something that is very important. So, for example, when you say, let's make our quarterly events loud in the town hall, it means we're trying to make it prominent, making sure everyone is aware about it. Okay, the next four-letter word we have for today is lump, L-U-M-P, which means a compact mass, something that is like a group, a mass, or sometimes it can also be used as a metaphor for combined. For example, you will hear this a lot. Take the lump sum amount or monthly payments. Okay. Next is lush. Lush means something rich or something luxurious. So, for example, when we say lush opportunities are available in the emerging markets right now, it means something very rich, something very luxurious. The last four-letter word we have for today is lame, spelled L-A-M-E, which means it is something unimpressive, a very informal way of saying that you were not impressed by it, or it is very weak. So, for example, you can say the excuse sounds pretty lame to stakeholders, meaning it was not something that they were agreeing on. It was too weak for the stakeholders to accept. All right. Those were a few four-letter words. Now let's move on to a few five-letter words, starting with the letter L. We'll start with level. Level means a rank or a position in a team, in an office, in a hierarchy. So, for example, we can say mid-level managers bridge strategy and execution together. The next word we have is light, Lighd, which means either illumination or to ease the burden on someone. So, for example, when you say the clarification sheds light on the budget gap, it means it provides more insights, it provides more illumination on the budget gap. Our next five-letter word for today is limit. Limit simply means pertaining the maximum boundary that we have. So, for example, when you say the travel expense limits reset quarterly, it means the maximum boundary is resetting. It keeps getting changed every quarter. The next word we have for today is local, which means it is pertaining to a specific area or to the location that you are currently in. For example, local regulations vary state by state. Our next five-letter word for today is logic, which means a reasoned sequence, being reasonable for something. For example, a flawless logic backed her promotion case. So when you have a flawless or a reason, a logic without any mistakes, it will back you up in any promotions. Our next word for today is labor, which means productive work. So, for example, skilled labor shortage hits manufacturing very hard. Our next word for today is lease, which is the rental agreement or the rental contract that we have. So, for example, you can say the office lease renewal negotiations start from next month. Next word we have for today is legal. Legal means something that is law compliant, something that follows the rules that is laid by the law. For example, we can say legal team cleared the new vendor contract very well. Our next and most common word in the corporate world is loyal, which means a strong or steadfast support. So, for example, when you say loyal companies, loyal employees are a big asset for the company, it means you're talking about employees who are a very strong support. Our next word is lousy, which means poor quality or low quality. Again, this is an informal way of saying a very low quality or poor quality. So, for example, if you say lousy Wi-Fi killed the virtual client demo session, we're talking about a very weak or a very slow Wi-Fi connection. All right. Now we have completed with a few short words. Let's discuss a few long range words, some sophisticated L words that are dominating in the boardrooms, in the leadership development, and also strategies. I'm going to start off with launch. Launch means an official introduction of something. So, for example, when you say product launch, it means you're officially introducing the product to everyone. The next word for today is listen, which is attentively hearing something. So, for example, when I say actively listening, doubles the meeting's effectiveness, or active listening doubles the training's effectiveness. It means paying attention while you're hearing to something has better effect. Our next word for today is lesson, which is nothing but a learned experience, something that you gain, something that you learn out of experience. For example, postmortem extract lessons from every project. Our next word for today is leverage. Leverage simply means a strategic advantage, having a strategic advantage on something. So, for example, when we may say leverage partnerships for the market entry, which means let's have a strong strategic advantage with partnerships for the market entry. Our next word, loyalty. We already spoke about loyal. Loyalty is simply a faithful commitment. So when you're referring to the loyalty as a commitment in a noun form, you say loyalty. So for example, when you say loyalty programs, these talks about the commitment programs that customers have with us. So loyalty programs will boost lifetime customer value. The next word is liaison, which is spelled as Liaison. This is a communication link, a, a way of communicating. So for example, when you say HR liaison, coordinates with all departments. It means we have someone from the HR or liaison or a representative that works as a link and coordinates with all the other departments for any kind of communication. The next word we have is lucid. Lucid means clear and easy to understand. Something that is very clear, very simple, very easy to understand is called lucid. So, for example, you can say lucid presentations will win our executives by easily. All right, those were a few lengthier words in L. Now, let's talk about a few corporate essentials. The first, most important, is leadership, which means guiding others towards a certain vision, towards a certain target. For example, you can say situational leadership adapts to team maturity or adapts to the team requirements. Our next word for today is logistics. You would have heard logistics a lot. This means movement coordination. When we're talking about any movement and coordinations according to that, that is called as logistics. So when we say, for example, supply chain logistics, they determine the delivery reliability. This talks about the delivery movement. So the logistics team are the one who handle this coordination. Our next word is liability, which means the legal responsibility that we take. For example, insurance covers any product liability risks. Our next word, starting with the letter L, is litigation. This is again a legal term, which means court proceedings. So, for example, you can say early mediation will avoid costly litigations. So, if we have early mediations with our clients, we do not have to worry about costly court proceedings. The next L word is lineage, which means historical sequence. So, for example, when we say our product lineage traces back 20 years, we're saying that the product has been there for the past 20 years and there is a history of 20 years for the product. For example, Desi Crew lineage has been there for the past 19 years. All right. The next word we have for today is lateral, which means sideways movement, something that is moving in the same direction on the sideways. So, for example, when I say lateral hires, they are of the same level. They're not going up, they are in the same level. This means that they are equal to you. So, for example, when we say lateral hires bring fresh industry expertise, they may be in the same level but have better industry exposures because they have been working outside. All right, and that brings us to the conclusion of the letter L. From simple starters to leadership lead, we have learned quite a few L words today. L embodies leadership, learning, and logical thinking. And let's come up with another challenge for today. So, today, as a challenge, listen to at least two meetings actively and take notes on what you have learned from them. And share at least one lesson from your recent experience, either at work or personal life, with your team to help them learn better. Thank you for tuning into the Grammatist on DC Live, where we care, we share, and we are on air. I'll see you again next Monday at 5:30 p.m. Until then, lead logically, learn continuously.